You worked on this cover. This is Fortune. This is what, the August, September issue.
That's correct.
And you were a part of creating it.
This specific issue was going to be about cryptocurrency. I guess I wanted to sort of represent the idea of, looking into the portal of the metaverse. So it's kind of got this theme of going down the rabbit hole.
If I were to call you Emily on the internet, no one would know what that means. People know you as people pleaser.
Yeah.
Where did that name come from?
While waiting to hear back from interviews, I decided to create an art account on Instagram. And then it was just one of those moments where I'm on the page and then I need a handle. And then I know my regular name is not unique or cool in any way. And all the cool artists had cool artist names. And then I thought I needed to give myself one. And my personality is just a people-pleasing type. And so I just thought it could be a tongue-in-cheek thing where I could also try to please people with my work.
You discovered a new form of monetizing your work. Take me through the process and what specifically changed.
Anybody who has been a digital artist, or if that's your medium, you would understand better than anybody else that it was pretty much impossible to monetize your work. And so what we would be doing is just posting our work on Instagram while they pay us in likes, and just hoping to land some client work as a result of that. Obviously, the idea of digital ownership clicks to us, I think, much more easily and quickly because our native medium is digital anyway. And so, for example, what if my art is animated? I can't give you a TV screen, you know what I mean? Like, how do you give somebody an animated piece? And so with NFTs, it just made that so much more clear.
If I own the NFT of your work, you could post it on Instagram and everyone could see it, but I would own almost the digital rights to your work.
Correct. Another simple analogy would just be, take the Mona Lisa, for example. You could get the best painter, replicator person on this earth to paint an exact copy of the Mona Lisa and then hang it in your house and then say, I own the Mona Lisa.
Right.
But everybody agrees that the Mona Lisa in the Louvre is the one that is the true original piece. So the same thing with NFTs. You can go and save my picture and then say that you own my NFT. But if I can't verify that on the blockchain via sort of my digital signature that everybody knows is mine, then nobody's gonna believe you. All of the pieces that I made that summer kind of documents my summer in general.
That's awesome. So it was kind of your evolution of trying to figure out who you were.
Yeah, so this is the piece titled Blessed But Depressed that I mentioned in my op-ed for Fortune magazine. I made it during probably the lowest point of my unemployment during the summer of 2020. That year I was supposed to go work at Apple, but then my offer got rescinded. And then the pandemic happened. It was a pretty stressful year, I would say, for everybody.
Right.
It's called Blessed But Depressed because even though, I was in a really low state, but I have, at the end of the day, I was healthy. I have supportive family members, people who love me, but I made this piece to kind of represent how I was feeling. The music has this sad undertone and the way I think it's more about the body language here, especially the head sort of in like a wilted position. The blessed part is just, that the environment is somewhat beautiful and dreamy, and there's all these colors on the body, which represents all of sort of like the creative energy that I had, with the water underneath too. It's kind of just this feeling of you're almost gonna drown, but you're just hanging above the water.
Fast forward, a year and a half later, and people will pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for your work. Has that settled in?
It's just such a huge contrast from collecting unemployment to suddenly having hundreds of thousands of dollars pour into your work.
What do you like about making art?
I think at the end of it, it's just how I express myself. And my favorite part about making art, specifically longer form content actually, is just making people feel something.
Not to state the obvious, but there aren't enough women and people of color in this space. Why is that? And how do we create a better environment to get more folks in?
I think it's a combination of also, just a vicious cycle of, the less women that there are to begin with, and maybe as women or, minorities are more intimidated by the space because they don't see success stories of people who look like them. And so that will cause them maybe to hesitate to even try.
And it certainly seems like the barriers to entry feel high, right, for folks who are looking out from the outside? Because I could think of many artists who look at you's success and would say, I want to try that. But you're into it now, right? You live and breathe this. But I can imagine it's not as easy just to jump in, right?
Yeah, the space itself, regardless of your gender or race, is just an intimidating one to begin with because all of these concepts are so foreign. Even myself, when I first started entering it, I didn't know what anybody was talking about. It really felt like landing on a different planet, and the currency they use is different, the language they use is different. I was just kind of in the fake it till you make it mindset where I would just pretend to know what people are talking about, and then I would go behind the curtains and Google things and do my own research and sort of catch up in that way.
We talk about this low point in 2020 and now where you are, right, which is a very successful artist. What changed?
I think I still have imposter syndrome, so every time I hear people say that I'm a successful artist, I'm just like, what? But I think what changed is just that a lot more people are willing to listen to what I'm saying now, which is good. And by taking advantage of that, or how I feel I can use this voice responsibly, is to amplify values that I deeply care about.
How does it feel to have your work on the cover of Fortune?
I think obviously it was really surreal. The whole time that I was making this cover, I felt like I was getting away with murder or something because, I put like a Pepe frog on there, that's a major meme, the CryptoPunk, and, sort of all of these people represent so much of the crypto community. And they gave me complete creative control. So I just ran with it and put all of my friends and all of my sort of my world onto this cover. And I'm just so glad that it was really well received. The physical magazines were always sold out when this issue was out. People were selling it for like $150 on eBay. It was insane.
I read something about how it's this idea of like the crypto and decentralized finance is coming whether or not Wall Street is ready. Is that safe to say?
Yeah, so this sort of movement of Web3, whether or not we're ready for it, we are spending more and more of our time online, and the idea of this perma-web existing and decentralization is so important to us as we move more of our data, of our lives into the digital realm. And we used to go online as a break, so we would take a break and, go on the computer, on the internet. But that was, 10, 20 years ago. And now I think we're spending most of our time online and in front of screens, and we take a break when we go outside and, enjoy the real world.